Next story. TSTT broadband strategy. We get ready to laugh.
Yeah, well, first time I'll be seeing it.
First time you're seeing this? All right. So, Chief Executive Officer of Majority State-owned TSTT disclosed yesterday that regional telecommunications providers are planning to hold negotiations with global tech heavyweights such as Apple, Google, Amazon, Netflix, and Meta to help the Caribbean operators to offset the cost of providing broadband data. AGAD made the comments while delivering the opening remarks at a workshop for media practitioners titled Covering Technology and the Changing Landscape, hosted by Mobile and the Trinidad and Tobago Publishers and Broadcasters Association. Here this big thing. And by big tech, I'm talking about Meta, TikTok, Netflix, and all of them. They use 67% of our network assets. 6 of the big tech operators utilize collectively 67% of our network assets, and they make zero contribution to the development of those assets. Yet we are being asked to continuously invest.
What?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, they don't use.
So because the users, your users, choose to use their own internet that they pay for on Twitter, whatever, you want Twitter and them to pay you for it?
Exactly.
Does that come like, so a cable company, right? You have your channels, the people paying you for the channels, but they only watching HBO and Disney. You go to Disney and HBO and tell them, hey, we need some more money because the users only watching your 2 channels.
So, it's the part where she says they make zero contribution to the development of those assets, yet we are being asked to continuously invest. So you providing an internet service and want the people who are the most popular to pay you money to make your network better so that they could get better. They could get service to you. No.
It have any kind of precedence on this? Like,
yes, there is precedent.
Okay.
There is precedent. So here's this precedent, right? Netflix has this CDN network, right? Netflix and Google, I think, have the CDN network, where they, you as an ISP, you could apply to them and say, hey, we want to put a CDN in our country so that we don't have to send to loads of data up to Miami or wherever it is to collect your shows. If you could cache it by us, that'll make life a whole lot easier for us. Netflix says, sure, no problem. We will give you that caching server. And based on one of my TikToks, somebody commented, and I had a long conversation with him. There is a caching server in Netflix that's operated by Digicel, right? Digicel or Flowboy. One of those two, right? So basically what's happened is all the popular shows just get cached there. So when we actually press our show on Netflix, we're not watching it from Miami. We're watching it from our internal server on the internal network. Google does that too. Google has a whole set of CDNs for YouTube. And YouTube has a CDN in Trinidad. And they have a big one in Brazil too. So most of our stuff don't really go up the fiber of the Caribbean. It's come through from Brazil or something like that. Right? TikTok, Meta, and whatnot, I don't know if they have it, but the thing is, I know for sure Netflix and YouTube just provide that for free. All you have to do is install the hardware, give it an IP address, and they remotely manage it for free, because it's in their best interest to have their content seen as far as much as possible and as fast as possible. So there is a slight precedent. However, the way the statement is like saying they make zero contribution to the development of those assets.
It
almost sounds entitled.
Money.
Yeah, it sounds like you know, I entitled to, you know.
Yeah, it is sound like what you just explained where they say, you know, it'll facilitate it and make it easier. You know, it sound like she want something more than that. Yeah,
like they want them to drop the cost for them and be like, well, you know, we've used plenty of your service, so therefore we had to strike a deal. But them are not a no deal with Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah,
that providing 0.0001% of their
revenue.
Their revenue.
Yeah, it's like these are like the whole Netflix thing. You know, people was like, yeah, you do for Netflix, you cancel them, and I was like, you know, Netflix probably don't care if the whole Trinidad cancel.
Them and studying you. If you are 80 billion users and 1.4 million decides to come out, what were you worried about?
Not even so much. You don't even ask so much.
Yeah. What the places Netflix care about is India. Them care about Europe. Them care about the United States, the US. Yeah. And I would even go as far to say they care about Africa more.
Some parts are Latin America too.
Yeah. That is numbers. That the billions that they care about.
You know,
so
but
them is studying we, them is studying us. But
yeah, but Lara, I would like to know. I would want her to, if I had the chance, I would want her to explain what she meant by compensation. If it's dollars or if it's you want them to do more.
All right. So here, what it goes on and says. Well, this is the report from Jisha Kaulesa, right? So it says in the Caribbean, TSTT invests about $500 million annually. Across the Caribbean, she added that there's no business case for 5G as there's no returns. There's no point where we are going to launch probably a couple of months where we're going to do one at Phoenix Park, but it's a fixed 5G site. Forget ubiquitous 5G deployment. There's just no money for it. Now, I agree with that because 5G don't make any sense unless you have antennas everywhere.
Yeah,
if you don't have antennas everywhere.
The range now.
Yeah, the range because they're using millimeter waves now. So it basically doesn't make any tilt on the radar unless you're working in Port of Spain. And as soon as they leave Port of Spain, you're dropping straight back down to 3G or LTE, 4G. Yeah, if so much. So 5G don't have anything. That's why when they was launching all the 5G talk and thing and advertising phones with 5G, I was like, that's just a buzzword,
Yeah.
You know,
you remember and 5G used to cause COVID.
Yeah, we used to cause COVID, yeah. And here the worst part. If you ask the average person what 5G is, it'd be like, oh yeah, at home I have one named 2.4 and the next one I have is 5G. Yeah. And it'd be like, wait, I know if when I'm bothered to try to explain that to anybody. Yeah, okay, cool. So, even in some places in the US, they ain't bothering with our 5G thing unless it's a city, a crowded metropolitan area. Because other than that, your antennas had to be within, 100, 200 feet of each other consistently for that kind of speed to happen. Now, the speed's real fast, but I can't see it. The only way to have a next G that the Caribbean will be able to go is if it's a long distance G. But
So she mentioned they invest how much? 200 million? Or
500 million a year TSTT invests annually. They didn't
US?
say US 500 million, yeah.
Okay. But they make that investment in more like infrastructure and stuff like that?
Essentially infrastructure. I can't say exactly what it is.
Okay. She make it sound like it's charity, but sure that investment bringing returns.
Right. This part here is important. She said the challenge posed by increased demand for bandwidth was just one of the several faced by TSTT in the last 18 months. So, of course, they had to restructure, they retrench people, well, not retrench, they visa people and all that kind of stuff, they restructure and all that. Referring again to the cost of broadband, AGAD said these moves would only work out in the long run if the company is able to find viable revenue streams. Which is where I feel... Remember when we were talking about the Digicel and Flow, I think prices going up and thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the revenue streams, they're going to drop really bad because people not paying for the cable companies, people don't want to pay for the cable because the cable is a waste of time because everything you could do, you could watch on the internet. And for TSTT, they used to make a mint on landlines. Like landlines, it was what they had, and now that everybody going to cell phones, be mobile, skating to fight with Digicel on a daily to try to get these phones working. And most of the times, people not using the phone for calling. It come back down to data.
Yep.
So essentially everything that you do coming back down to how much bandwidth can you get back into the country and in and out.
Yeah. So you ever had a landline?
No, not since I leave home. From the time I leave home, no, I was a cell phone from then to now.
Yeah, I never had a landline.
I don't know. I don't think that's even. They don't even have landlines anymore. They just give you a Huawei dish.
Oh, okay.
It's basically a cell phone you just get on home in your home now that is fixed to your wall. That's
I have a phone. My phone are like thousands of minutes on it because my minutes just roll over. I joke. Yeah, I don't call nobody even.
And to the point where even like business people just call you on WhatsApp now. I talking about like big kind of CEO kind of big boy person. I seen a WhatsApp call coming in. I like. who's this person calling me on WhatsApp? When I do so, it's somebody that is important that you would think would call you on
a regular
call. But it's just so convenient, and well, the data there, so, and all of that is data. It would be nice if WhatsApp would give you like an internal network where they'll allow you to make your WhatsApp calls and you just connect people on the inside, but they're not beneficial to them because they want the data to pass through their server. I guess when they approach them, they could approach them, but I don't like how it sounded in that quote. It could be a sensational quote that was put there by the reporter, but the thing is, she said it.
Even if you look at it at this point of view, what incentives do these companies have to actually facilitate you? You know, what in it for them? Why should they do it? As they say, our population has 1.4 million.
Nothing.
You know, that's not even a drop in their bottom line in the revenue, you know, so.
It's crazy. Real crazy.
Yeah, maybe if you do it from the standpoint of the Caribbean, you know, we make these investments in the Caribbean, you know, and have a bit more, in terms of your words, choose your words a little better. Don't just demand it up front, you know, have a little dialogue, you know, and a little more amicable.
But before it's all said and done, I hope that there is some sort of breakthrough in this bandwidth thing that these companies struggling with. I don't want to do things. They're going to have to stop try to make so much money and expect their profits to be ridiculously high because they ain't going to get people to pay for other stuff because the only other thing that they could do is all of them have to agree to screw over the consumer and basically say, all of us going to raise the prices and they will have to take it. And then I'll get Starlink.
Well, Tat won't come and step in. You know, last time they step in when one network raised the price.
But Tat could step in, but somebody will end up having to, the way how we kind of corruptish, somebody will tell Tat.
I was looking at something. You know, Tat under the Ministry of Digital Transformation.
For real?
Yeah, somewhere I saw some. Probably had a confirmation, but
that make it worse now. That make it worse.